We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day's going well. It is Friday. This is my second live tonight. The first live I had went about an hour. And then TikTok kicked us off. They said we did something wrong. So I appealed it. And they said, nope, you're right. You didn't do anything wrong, and gave it back to me. But by that time, they've already shut down the first live, and I was talking to TJ, who is one of my moderators. I said, what do we do here? Should we just go back and do some more? You said, fuck yeah. I said, fuck yeah. So here we are. just ridiculous. And we said so many fucking nice things about TikTok Shop. I don't know how they could possibly do that. Anyway, I'm bringing back TJ. I thought I was bringing back TJ. No, I guess I need people to request the request to come on, and he hadn't done that as yet. So anyway, what we're talking about, of course, is all that went on between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. This was a breakup that a lot of us have predicted. And it's not because we're so smart. It's because when you have malignant narcissists, if you have one malignant narcissist, they can't hold on to a friend to save their soul. If somebody gets too close, okay, TJ's telling me there's no request box. Okay, there is a request box now. TJ, there's somebody in the request box now, so apparently it took a minute to get up there, but it's up there. Anyway, when you get two malignant narcissists, there's no way that they're going to get along for any period of time. At some point, they're going to get an argument, they're going to burn each other down, and that's what happened today with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. There was a meeting that Donald Trump had in the White House, and it was secret. And I tend to believe that some of the people around Donald Trump were finally telling him to shut the fuck up. Just be the fuck quiet and do not say anything more, because Elon Musk has the goods and he's going to say some shit. There's no question about it. All right. I've got somebody in here. Let me see if I can get Rebecca and TJ in here. I've invited both of them, and we'll see if they show up. All right, there you go. We got Rebecca and TJ back.
Now there's a request box.
Yep, now we're back.
Yeah, it takes a while for TikTok to catch back up. Honestly, I was surprised.
What happened? I thought we got booted. No,
We did.
We did
Mike
get voted.
Mike just explained what happened.
I
I appealed it. And then they said, okay, yeah, you're right. And then they let me come back. So I said, TJ, do we want to start again and do this again, or do we not? And he said, yeah, fuck it, let's go for it.
How did that even happen? There was like barely any Trump-a-fucks in the chat, and we were blocking them left and right. I don't understand how that happened.
Well, I think I may have said something that triggered a word or something. That's my only guess. Yeah, most of the Trump humpers weren't really in here. But we've been talking about this Elon and Trump thing, and I think we all have the same idea that there are people out there that think this is just all a fake show, a distraction, and I don't agree with that. There may be distracting from something, but this is a real fight. They wouldn't be going tooth and nail like this, talking about Jeffrey Epstein or illegal immigration with Elon Musk. That shit wouldn't be talked about. It would be more superficial if it were fake.
Yeah, let's face it. Those two are not smart enough to pull that off like this. Like this is definitely a real thing. They're not trying to distract from anything.
That's not to say that. Go ahead.
I have a sidebar question.
Yeah.
Since you won the appeal, are you able to download the content later?
Immediately afterwards, I wasn't, but I'm thinking that may change. I hope that changes, because I'll download both of these and run them both. But I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm going to pull somebody up here, somebody we've had before recently. And this is Rumor. He was on the last slide.
Rumor.
Hey, Rumor, how
Hello.
you doing?
Oh,
What's on your mind?
oh, well, I kind of lost track of my mind when the TikTok kicked you guys. So,
Yeah,
um,
me too.
but anyway, there was a couple things I was commenting the last go round before it ended. Because we were talking about Medicaid and Medicare cuts. And one of the
Right.
things that I've seen recently was there is a new, or was, or whatever kind of tense, past, previous, present, whatever kind of tense you'd like to put it, that they cut more funding to HIV and AIDS, and yet we were on the cusp of having something out pharmaceutically on the market, whichever. I'd have to go back and see it again because I've seen it multiple times now that it's it's well, right now it's a study in the rats that the rats' immune systems are not only taking the HIV out of their system, but it's fighting back.
Wow.
And like I said, it's just more frustrating things about this administration and the fact that these people, these MAGA, think they are just so smart. And I'm like, well, number one, one's incontinent, one has the vocabulary of a kindergarten, one does
Yeah.
ketamine and is getting sued by two women over parental rights. I'm like, I don't think any of them are great role models, and I say that as an understatement.
No, heck no. And we know that some of the things that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have done already have cut funding for medication for HIV and other parts of
Yeah,
the world. They've done a great disservice to a disease that's been devastating in this country, and we were seemingly getting things under control. This is no time to stop that process. We want to try to eradicate it altogether, and we can't
yeah,
do that when Donald Trump and Elon Musk cut funding and start dicking around like they have. So that
Yeah.
is frustrating.
Do we really
it's
want to
like
go back to the 90s and the
to
crisis?
Reagan.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, like
It
I
was
grew up.
absolutely terrifying.
I mean, I, I I'm privileged as much as I can be as a gay man, but I grew up knowing my history as a gay man, from Marsha P. Johnson, Harvey Milk, the White Knight riots, to the AIDS crisis, to every nitty gritty little detail. I made sure to know about so I could educate, so I could point out, so I can be an activist to whatever kind of means that I can. And every time I see someone agreeing with what Trump's doing, I just I just tell him, I said, I'm sorry. If you believe that, then we can't be friends. It hurts,
Absolutely.
but it you're not respectful for a community that's marginalized, and you complain that because we want equal rights, you think that we want more of the pie than what you have. No, that's not how that works.
Rumor, did you hear the story about Pete Hegseth wanting to change the name of the
Oh,
aircraft carrier Harvey
don't get
Milk?
me started. I saw that and I
Yeah,
said, well, what's funny is Harvey Milk outranks Pete Hegseth, number one.
right.
And number two, I mean, you want to talk about Trump being petty. I swear Pete Hegseth is so deep in the closet. He's got to be a closeted homosexual with how petty he is.
You'll wonder. You'll wonder.
Exactly.
You'll wonder
And
about that.
and
Yeah,
on top of that, that Pete Hegseth wanted a makeup station in the Pentagon because it brings out more of this Wario ethos. I'm like, sure, Chief.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
though?
That's
The fact that they even did that has brought Harvey Milk to light for people who so many people who had no idea who he was. You know what? So
Hmm.
reverse educate those people. You know what?
And
Let people know now who he was because they never would have learned before. Never would have.
exactly. And I tell them this all the time. And people will either ask me or I'll tell them. If they ask me, how do you know? I'm like, because it's gay history 101. And I
well,
grew
and
up I grew up in downtown Indianapolis, and I lived as this innocent 20-year-old queer kid, and that's how I learned. I learned from a drag queen. Drag queens are the storytellers of the gay, lesbian, bi, and transgender community. I can speak to that.
If you ever want to know who Harvey Milk was or how he impacted California, the country for that matter, there's a great movie called Milk.
Yes,
Sean Penn plays Harvey Milk in it. It's a great movie. Watch
phenomenal
it,
movie.
and you'll learn a lot about what was going on in politics back in the 80s and what happened to him because he was murdered as part of.
Yep. He was assassinated by a fellow supervisor because he was an openly homosexual politician.
Right, right.
I mean,
And
there are
it's a
some
great
things that
story.
go deeper than that, but not much. The main reason was he was an open homosexual.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Rumor, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to run through as many people as possible. Thank you for
Sure thing.
stopping by again. You're welcome
Thank you, guys.
anytime.
Happy Pride.
Thanks, Rumor, and happy Pride.
Thank you.
Happy Pride Month. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to see who else is out there. Let's bring up Alicia. See if she's ready to come on up. Alicia, how you doing?
I'm sorry, I wasn't. I was.
I'm
tapping.
sorry?
I was tapping.
Oh, you didn't mean to come up.
No.
Okay, that's no problem. We appreciate you listening, though. Thank you very much. Let's see who else we got here. Trying to think of somebody. Let's go with Jay. Jay's up. We're mostly talking about the Elon Donald Trump little cat fight going on because I think this whole fight, depending on what happens tomorrow, is going to have a serious impact not only on this country but on the Trump administration. They're on the run now because of what happened here, and they're having a tough time trying to figure out how to explain it. So, Jay, you're with us. What's on your mind?
I was just going to come up and say I did vote for Trump. I voted for him all 3 elections that he ran. And at this point, I do regret my decision on voting for him this particular term because he's not fulfilling what I had wanted and foresaw for this country. And what I thought he was going to do and what he's actually actions that are taking place are completely opposite. So I'm just really kind of down. I'm kind of discouraged. I'm kind of frustrated that I bought into that. And I do not like what I see in the direction this country's headed in. So
Well, Jay, let me ask you this, Jay, and I'm not trying to be a smartass, and I'm not trying to go after you here, but it's a legitimate question. You don't like what's going on now, and I want to go into what specifically you don't like about what's going on now. But at the time you voted for him in 2024, he had 34 felony convictions, the adjudication for the sexual predator thing, the classified documents that he stored in his bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. Those things didn't bother you, but something now is bothering you. Am I right about that? And again, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, no, and I'm telling you, you're wrong about that. That's just you assuming what my thoughts were at the time. So you're definitely wrong on that.
What am I wrong about?
Convicted felon. I did have a problem that he was convicted felon. Do what?
But you voted for him.
I said I did.
Tell me what I'm wrong about.
No.
Tell me what I'm wrong about.
The motives, the reason that I voted the way that I did. I have seen this country. I'm 55 years old, 56 actually now. And I have watched this country through the years lose patriotism year after year. And the reason I say that, it just it's definitely clear to see when you turn the TV on and you see people burning the flag on college campuses across the United States. I understand it is their constitutional right to do so, but when you're going to burn the American flag on American soil, and for whatever your cause may be, it is bringing down patriotism in this country, which I hold very highly to. I think we need to love this country, love the people in it, and we can be better. That's what I believe. So,
and somehow you thought Donald Trump would bring us there.
I thought I was pushing back against what the left has attached themselves to, which is all the negatives in this country, from racism to bigotry to homophobe to transphobe to you're either pro-Palestine, you're pro-Israel. It is a pointing the finger country that is doing nothing to solve solutions but just scream and holler and say, "Oh, she didn't win because it's a misogyny." That most people are misogynists. Oh, she didn't win. The border's getting secure, but it's because you don't want the brown and colored people here. So what I'm saying is, our country has became a melting pot of people that have so much civil unrest, it's unreal. So I was hoping that by moving away from the color of someone's skin, like Trump was saying, like removing of DEI, removing away from the ideology that we're going to solely look at someone's color and make our own decisions. I just couldn't take it anymore. I thought it was a
Well,
complete.
well, hold on 1 second. And I don't mean to interrupt you, Jay, but can you tell me what DEI is?
Yes, diversity, equity, and inclusion that was enacted to try and help marginalized or minority people from being discriminated against in the workforce and in other areas.
Okay, so would you agree that DEI and affirmative action are the same thing?
No, I would not.
Okay, good. That's the right answer. So you're saying that DEI is a leg up for minorities, or is DEI just saying that we should make the workplace look like society?
I didn't care about the DEI as much as I cared about people starting to hate the country that they lived in and the people in it by always calling out the negatives and not looking at the positives of what we have as a country and what freedoms we are offered.
Well, I'm not saying that people don't
I just
do
felt
that,
like
but what
I'm not blaming the left solely. I'm just saying that was the reason for my vote. I was trying to move away from what I saw as people that were growing up learning to hate this country because of its history, because of the people in it. I mean, it's just sad. It really is. It's okay to call out indiscretions, but when 90% of your platform is calling someone in this country horrible names, whether you're racist or a Schmittler or whatever, I mean, it's just sad what we've become as a nation.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. In terms of the divisiveness, the name calling, the references to race, where did that come from? I mean, the Democrats have been part of, and so have Republicans, been part of the DEI thing. And I feel like when I hear the Republicans talk about it, they'll say something like, well, we white people are being discriminated and fuck the brown people, fuck the immigrants and stuff like that. When you say diversity, inclusivity, what are they?
diversity, equity, inclusion.
What's the one word you don't like in that?
I like all those words. I like everything about
There you
diversity,
go.
equity, and inclusion. I have no problem with that. What I was saying is, if you didn't, I mean, maybe I was just being propagandized. I don't know. I was just saying every time I turned the TV on, I was seeing a group of people civilly unrest and protesting almost daily
About DEI?
about all of these social unrest issues in our country without focusing on the positives in our country. That's what I'm.
What Jay is saying is
Feed
that
Rose. If you start saying that everybody is racist in this country and you make it your platform, then you're going to have people that are going to latch on to that ideology and start saying, well, you know what? Everybody is racist. And I
Well,
don't
hey,
like that. I want us to see the good in each other and call out racism when it's necessary, but don't kind of put everyone in the same pot because of skin color.
Jay, I'm a Democrat, and I've never said that.
yeah, me
No,
either.
I've never said it either.
And just and just
White
because
and white.
and just because certain media platforms want to give you that perception doesn't mean that it's accurate or true.
And Jay,
No, that's true. It could have been propaganda. You know, propaganda is what led won this election, in my opinion.
Right?
Oh,
if
it was.
I, and if Jesse Waters wants to go out and say that every night on Fox News, well, that's his problem. But that's not anywhere near reality.
Yeah, I understand. And like I said, like I said when I came up, I regret my vote. It kind of backfired in my face because what my motives were to try and move into a more conservative mindset actually backfired because it did hurt the minority groups. It hurt marginalized communities. It hurt people that are the lower income. And so I feel guilty for helping elect someone that has, come in office and enacted these things that I just don't agree with as a human. And so I can't support that anymore. So I regret my vote. I hate that it happened, but I wish that the Democrat Party could somehow figure out a way to call out the things that happen in this country that need to have work on, whether it's racism or whether it's any injustice that's seen. But at the same time, try and build a platform of how we're going to be better, how we're going to move forward, instead of just
Well,
saying that this country's racist and we have to get
well,
rid of it.
let me ask you this. If you have racists, and we have people in the Republican Party that have perfectly illustrated that they are racist in their attitudes, their ideology, is it fair to call somebody who supports somebody who's racist also racist, or at least an accessory after the fact? Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, only because the reason I don't, if I agreed to that, then I would be basically calling myself someone who supports racism because I
Well, you
voted for
do.
Donald Trump.
You voted.
And,
You do,
and I don't,
and you voted for
I do
him.
not, I do not support racism. But there was
Then why did you vote for somebody who's racist?
because there was an entire ton of issues that needed to be addressed that I felt weren't being entertained from the previous administration.
What issue did Donald Trump express to you in his campaign that he was going to fix that you liked? And then how did he tell you he was going to do that? See, that's my thing. He says a lot of stuff, but he never tells you how he's going to do it. And somebody like you buys into him saying, I'm going to lower prices. And you say, great, I love that. I'll sign on to that.
I will honestly concede to that and say, yes, I did buy into that because I like that when he stood on stage and he said, I'm going to make America first agenda. I'm going to, by doing that, I'm going to bring down these regulations that have hurt us on the energy sector, which will in turn, in 1 year's time after I'm elected, bring your electricity bill down in half and your food prices down because of all these things that he said he was going to do. So yeah, I bought into it hook, line, and sinker because at that time we were all suffering at the pump, working 60 hours a week, buying extremely high inflated groceries, buying extremely high gas prices, and you know it. You lived here just like I do, so it was a fact.
Well, the fact is, though, that we also know that Donald Trump is literally a pathological liar. He was in his first term. He was in the 4 years between these terms. To think that he's now all of a sudden going to be truthful and do what he says, that's what I have a trouble understanding. How somebody can see what they've seen, heard what they heard, watched happen what happened, and still say, I think he's going to do a good job for us.
Well, can I ask you something though, honestly, sincerely, and I mean this, and I'm not trying to sound like that it's an issue because it's not. But what I'm saying is this: at this point in the United States, with all the different social media platforms that we have through news outlets, through reports, unless you go do your due diligence and research every single thing that is said, who knows what to believe and what's true? And that's where I'm at in this country. If you turn on Fox News, you're going to hear all the talking points that I just said. If you turn on CNN at the time or The View, you're going to hear he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a homophobe, he's going to do nothing but destroy this country. So I heard so much from so different many sides, I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know if it was true.
But Jay, the difference is this: is that Fred Trump and Donald Trump have been adjudicated discriminatory and racist against people in housing. It's been a proven fact in court that they did that
For 50 years. For 50 years.
That's it's not.
I can't say that he's not because I mean his actions when he took office this time has really raised an eyebrow and made me realize I was wrong in my thought process about him and being a racist.
Right. If it was hearsay, I would agree with you, but it's not hearsay. It's been adjudicated in court.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying. And like I said, I'm not here to bring discomfort or anything in our conversation. I just want you to understand why I voted the way I did. And I really felt that I was making the right decision, but I definitely regret my decision now.
Right. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming here and voicing your opinion and being respectful because a lot of times that's not the case.
Can I talk for 1 second? Sorry,
yeah, go.
I never get to talk over you guys ever. So, Jay,
I literally feel your pain of the patriot and my heart hurts. My heart hurts that the American flag is no longer a symbol of good and right. Donald Trump took that from us. He took that from us and he made it like almost evil. Like the American flag to me was always sacred, and the office of the president to me was always sacred. And he took that from me.
Right.
He took that. It hurts me.
I feel the same way.
And
I just want us to get back
like,
to loving this country again.
yes, and
You know-
I totally agree with you. But on the
We
same
have
token,
problems in this country.
this man in his first term supported the Proud Boys. They're very
Yeah.
nice people, or whatever he said. Like, he supported the Proud Boys. And he told you out loud. He told you in every speech exactly what he felt about race, about gender, about Roe versus Wade, about women, he told you out loud. He told you.
No, I have to
Well-
agree with you 100%. I'm at fault here 100% because I bought in hook, line, and sinker, and I didn't really do my research the way that I should have as an American voter. And everything that everyone was saying from Project 2025 to Agenda 47 that I was trying to debunk and defend him, saying, oh, he says he doesn't know anything about that. I have to honestly now say that I was the one who was fooled, because everything that was in Project 2025, or a good portion of it, has already been fulfilled, at least 40%, I would say. And
Yeah.
I regret that. I really do. I don't want that for our country. And so when the midterms come, I'm voting much differently. That's all I can say. And
Yeah.
Good for you, and I appreciate that. I
It
appreciate
it
you
takes
being honest.
it takes a big man to admit when they were wrong, and I give you a lot of credit for doing that. That to admit that you're wrong, and I don't believe, just to touch back on one thing you said, the lion's share of liberals in this country, whether they're, whatever, if they're some of the far left ones, maybe not, but the majority of liberals in this country, they don't hate this country. They just want liberty for everyone, not just white straight men.
yeah, I get that.
And so
I get that now. And like I said, it's a little bit, hindsight's 2020, and I guess it was a little bit late. But at the same time, the only thing I can do is vote again in the midterms, and hopefully more people like myself don't like the way that this administration is handling things, from immigration to the LGBTQ community. I think that's just disgusting to me, because if you want to serve in our military and you're willing to put your life on the line for this country, I don't give a shit who you decide to sleep with at night in your
right,
bedroom.
exactly.
Yeah.
It bothers me that he immediately attacked that group. And it reminded me of back in the 80s with the don't ask, don't tell policy when Clinton came in. And it reverts us back to, they're forcing people that maybe are in that community to go back in the closet. I think that's just a sad situation for our country, because they didn't do anything to anyone.
So, Jay, really for you, hindsight is 2024, and
Yeah.
That's a good one, actually. Hindsight is 2024.
and literally everything that you are saying that you believe in, that you now disagree and you voted for Trump, is everything you believed in for the last 12 years.
And I don't feel like that the people on this panel and Mike, and we're not that far apart from you. There's just a couple of fundamental things that we don't see eye to eye on, and that's fine.
Right.
And that's discourse, and that's how it goes, But at least Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm trying to go in because my dogs are going crazy. I have to go in at the house and let them out. But what I was going to say is, I really hope that we can find a way to, whether you're conservative or whether you're liberal or whether you're Republican, I want us to be able to have conversations like this and discuss our grievances, discuss the things that we are not happy with, discuss the things that we want to see that are better. And that's the only way this country, I think, will ever move forward in a harmonious way. I really do.
Well, Jay,
Yeah.
fun fact about that. Before Donald Trump, we used to have these conversations.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a
And
lot
now
more
we don't.
division. Yeah, I've seen a lot more division now than ever.
Right, exactly.
Jay, Jay, I'm gonna cut you loose here in a second because I got the dogs, and I hate to see the
Yeah,
dogs
go ahead.
in distress. But I'm just going to give you one more group of people to be angry with about our current situation, and you pointed it out when you talked about Fox News and the liberal sized news. I think the greatest villain in dividing this country is the media because
Yeah.
nobody tells the same story. They tell variations on the story or they tell something completely different. You watch Fox News and I watch MSNBC. We can't have a conversation because we've heard entirely different stories. And the media has done this on purpose to make money. They don't, there is no journalism anymore. And as much as the Republicans and Democrats can be held responsible for the divided country that we live in now, the media is far and away the biggest culprit.
I agree with you 100%, and I appreciate you letting me come up and have this conversation. I do 100% agree with the media because it is so biased now. At some point, I think it became more of a talk show than actually reporting
Yeah,
the news, and that's
it
what's
really
happening.
has.
Everybody's wanting that I gotcha moment, and it's just so sad to me because we just want to hear what are facts and factual information so we can make the best decisions for us or our family.
Well, Jay, as we let you go, I just have one negative thing to tell you. Take care of the fucking dogs.
I'm
Get off
going
this
in.
goddamn thing and take care of the fucking
I
dogs.
love my little dogs, and I'm going in to take care of them right now. Thank you.
Okay.
That's
Okay, Jay.
that sounds good.
All right, bye.
When Jay first came up and I realized he was a Republican and voted for Donald Trump, I didn't think that's how it was going to go. I was ready, man. I was fucking ready.
Got your dander up. You were all ready to.
Your
I
hackles
was
went
ready
up.
to. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we've got DK42058. You are
Hey,
up,
what's
and
up?
what's on your mind?
Nothing. I was just trying to I wish Jay was still up here actually, because buyer's remorse is hell.
Yeah,
And
it is.
we all know, just like you said, 34 felon, convicted of I don't even know how to say it on TikTok anymore. Abuse of a woman.
Essay.
Essay in a woman. Okay. So many things. He's a grifter. He's a liar. He has done nothing but lie and lie and lie to these. What are they drinking? Are they drinking? What are they drinking?
Not to
What
be in
water
defense,
are they drinking?
not to be in defense of Jay's ignorance, but if you don't educate yourself and you don't watch what we watch and you don't follow what we follow, they don't know this shit. I'm like, seriously, they don't
Man,
know.
Yeah,
I watch BBC because that's the true news. If you want to know the true news, I'm not watching Fox News. That's an entertainment station. All these are entertainment stations. I'm gonna watch. I do watch Meet the Press because they're interviewing them.
yeah.
I like to
Right.
see that. I like to see what the people have to say. I don't like a lot of what the Speaker of the House has to say because we know where he's at. But no.
Yeah, it's we've got to change a lot of things in this country, and it's a long way to go to get that done. But first, we've got to get Donald Trump out of power. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be a shit show, no matter what. DK, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. I got a bunch of people, and I want to get as many
Thank you.
people as I can on. So thank you, DK.
Thank you so much.
Kevin has been asking to come up, so we're going to put you on the spot and let you come up and see what you got. Assuming he takes the bait here, Kevin. You're up, and what's on your mind?
How you doing tonight, Boomer?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, it was nice to hear Jay. That he's seeing his mistake. I like hearing that. I know it's hard to back off and not wonder how you didn't see these signs in the past 10 years, but it is what it is. But boom, to what's going on now with Musk and Trump, I love it, man. I love it.
I do too.
I love every second of it, and I hope it continues. I pray that it continues.
Well, this is part and parcel how these kinds of personalities play out. They can fly high for a little bit, but eventually it implodes. And especially when you got two malignant narcissists together, that's just not possible. It's going to go south at some point. Narcissists don't have close friends for very long anyway. When you got two narcissists together, you know it's going to go off the rails at some point, and that's exactly where we are. Both these two should have had enough common sense, enough self-control to say, it's getting a little hot, maybe I should pull it back, but they can't do that. Neither one can do that, and I hope that nobody's able to calm them down for tomorrow, because I'm looking for some more excitement.
Yeah, well, you're damn right. The Trump people held him in a room and for God knows how long are trying to convince him to tone this thing down, to put this thing to sleep, because this works totally against Trump. Musk pretty much holds all the cards in this, and their job's going to be to calm Musk down, so he doesn't continue on these attacks.
They can't put the genie back in the bottle, though. What came out today is going to cause the Republicans and Donald Trump problems. It's definitely going to cause them problems. And if they think they can tone down Donald Trump, they might be able to do it temporarily. But I think Elon is purposely baiting him, and eventually Donald Trump will fucking jump on board again.
I hope he does. I hope
I
he
do
does,
too.
because boom, the fact is that this has to burn to the ground. It just has to. Sooner or later, might as well be sooner.
That's what I've said too. It's going to burn to the ground, so let's get the fucker done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you just can't underestimate the power that Musk holds in the social media world. And I was told today the algorithms with X will bring you right to everything that he wants you to see. Now, whether that's
Yeah,
true or not,
exactly.
I don't know, but sounds very well like it could be.
It was in my mind, knowing this kind of personality, and inevitable that they will spiral out of control and crash. And I'm just feeling like we're on the precipice of that crash, because this is not going well for either one of them. And it has nothing to do with the Democrats trying to take them down, because Democrats have been useless as far as trying to take them down. But this is how it was ultimately going to end. They're going to take down themselves. And I'm glad to see some evidence of that now, that it's actually happening.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the propaganda is strong. Boom. Yeah, I mean, like real quick, a month or two before the elections, when all those storms were hitting down here in the South,
Right.
it was the Democrats who were first creating the weather. Then it was Biden withholding funds from FEMA, and instead giving that money to Ukraine, I believe. That was the story. And this is all the
Right.
propaganda that guys like Jay and millions more listen to and believe, and that is the big problem.
Well, and they'll say, well, I saw this on TV. I saw this on TV. And the complaint I had for those people when they say that sort of thing, the problem here is you were lazy. I mean, I could watch Fox News and I could say that makes no sense logically. You got to learn how to discern the truth. And some people are just too lazy or incapable of doing it. And that's the problem. I've said before, we got an epidemic of stupid in this country, or at least lazy, and that's something we need to address.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't totally agree that the media is the enemy, and that was kind of being portrayed. I believe that any good media, any good journalists are being silenced. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the media and journalism are the guardrails of our part of the guardrails of our democracy, and the real important ones. But as you say, and that is the problem. Yeah, it's on the people themselves. The term "I do my own research." Well, why don't you just listen with your own ears and see with your own eyes, instead of listening to somebody else's opinions all day.
Right.
You can listen to these people yourself. You could determine, you can look at a bill, you can read a bill or read about what's in a bill for yourself, and you should.
Right. Well, I know you have a problem with suggesting the media is the enemy of this country, and I think they are, maybe inadvertently, because truths and facts don't really matter to them as much as making money, which is totally the opposite of what journalism is. Let's just say, if you have a problem with me saying that they're the enemy, let's just say the media in general has done a disservice to this country and to our government. Because I will tell you what, if a real journalist talked to Donald Trump and handled him the way they should handle him in 2015, he would have never been president. If a true journalist handled Donald Trump when he lied, when he said bullshit, if they called him out and held his feet to the fire, he would have never made it. We saw what happened when somebody called him a chicken. They would have done that in 2015 instead of jumping on the Donald Trump circus so they could make money. We would be better off today. So whether they're the enemy or they've done a disservice, the media, we have a lot of problems in this media. They're supposed to be a
No,
guardrail,
you're
but they
right.
aren't a guardrail anymore.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. The way they handle him compared to the way they handle other people is the hypocrisy is astounding. You're
Absolutely.
right. You're right about that. And yes, yes, we shouldn't even be in the position where we are in now. Journalism should have journalists should have everybody should have been told flat out this is what's going on. Our 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 our, our representative democracy is being taken over by an oligarchy, and this should have been this should have been told to people because I guess with that money they have to be told directly. Uh,
Well, the telling tale here is in 2016, even the Republicans didn't believe Donald Trump had a chance to win in 2020. And then when he did, they jumped on board. In 2024, Mitch McConnell and the Republicans didn't think he was going to win again. And then he did, and they jump on board again. So they're all about, taking the benefits, but they even knew that it made no sense that he would win the election. Everybody knew it. But once they did, they said, well, we'll take advantage of this situation. Let the Constitution and the people of this country be damned. Fuck it. Let's just take this ride and grift as much as we can.
this is I'm 61, boom, and this is really hard for me to accept what I see happening. It's
It, it,
unbelievable.
it absolutely is. I'm 65 and I'm just as much dismayed as you are. Kevin, thanks for coming up. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me up, boom.
All right. That is Kevin, and he popped up. Let's see who else we got here. We got a couple. Let's bring up Jesse. We got Trucker T in the queue too, so I'll be looking forward to talk to him. Jesse, you're on, and what's on your mind?
I mean, a lot's on my mind. This is a permanent state of anxiety, I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
I am
I get it.
I'm a real estate agent. I'm 36, but this is my 12th year. I'm one of those people that started very early, and I started when we were coming out of a recession with Obama, and I wasn't really aware of the laws that were put in place and policies that he had done to make sure that when we came out of the recession, we had people that were able to afford and contribute to the economy. And all of that became very paramount whenever Trump's first term, when he got rid of the Dodd-Frank law,
Right.
which ended the 2-week requirement before you could purchase a residential property if it wasn't going to be your primary residence
Right.
before someone who needed an actual home to live in. And so I specialize in first-time home buyers. That's what I've specialized in. 12 years strong, always helping the people make sure that the real estate as a first investment will set you up and make sure that you have some type of nest egg if shit goes south. And
Right.
I mean, every single policy he has introduced has been pro, you know, silver spoon. And
Right.
I have to wonder at what point and how far down the road do we have to get before even the ultra wealthy realize that if you don't lift up the middle and lower class, that you don't have an economy to be contributed to.
Well, exactly. Exactly. I've always said that, how do you not have the foresight to see if you don't, it's like if you're an investment guy and you have two portfolios, one that makes you no money, you just dump your money in there, it makes you no money, or the one that flourishes and makes you money. Where are you going to invest? Well, logically, it's in the place where you're creating more money, and that would be the middle class. To give it to the wealthy and get nothing in return, that makes no sense. The problem is, it doesn't matter if we get something in return, it's our members of Congress that get something in return, and that's how we get fucked in the process. We have to have people that legitimately want this country to flourish as opposed to enriching themselves, and we don't have that. That's what's unfortunate, and it's Democrat and Republican.
Yeah, well, and there is just such a serious misunderstanding with how people are able to, what is the term, they pull themselves up by the bootstraps. The
Right.
the people that they are voting for and looking at, when they look at Donald Trump and they use any term that would be relative to that saying, they have no understanding that he is not a qualifying participant of pull yourself up by the bootstrap. He has never seen hardship, nor does
Right.
he
Exactly.
introduce policy that helps people create wealth out of hardship. But the truth of the matter is, we do not have a shortage of wealth. We have a shortage of people who are able to obtain power to spread availability of human rights at this point. Like we're below just wealth and comfortability to the point where we're just like fighting for making sure people can have medications they need. This
Yeah.
they the naive sense that anyone who could continue to support this is on it's based on nothing. And it goes to me, it goes back to everything goes back to me thinking about the Department of Education as a whole, and the reason why all 50 states do not have just individual control of their education process. The reason the Department of Education was created was because of the lack of resources given to schools in areas that didn't have enough tax income to give them what they needed to thrive. And
Right.
the more you limit those resources, the more you produce these sad, desperate worker bees. And that is what I believe the goal is. Because if they can't lift up the middle class to thrive and work and create a beautiful economy, they create nothing but a giant threshold of human zombie slaves. That of desperation, they have no choice. That is just, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm only 36 years old and I have 4 children. And I've had the same career for 12 years. And I have never been more disappointed in the millennial generation than
Yeah.
I am right now. When it comes to us who were the lock-key kids, who had the parents that were like the first generation of both parents working. And it seems like a lot of them have learned nothing from it. I don't I
Yeah.
don't know what to do other than just to be really fucking infuriated right now.
But I don't know that you can blame just the millennials because we've got plenty of stupid to move around. I'm a younger boomer, and we are just replete with dumbass Trumplifucks. We've got millennials. I've got sons that are millennials, and fortunately, they're smart and understand what's going on. But there are friends of theirs that don't get it. There are Gen Z kids that don't get it. I don't know if it's a generational thing as much as how you're raised. I mean, I've said before in my life, you could take 99% of the fucked up shit in this country and trace it back to shitty parents. I'm sorry to say that, but that's true. We as parents determine how our kids end up. And if we are fucked up in the first place, your kids are going to get fucked up. And that's why we've got to get these people more educated. I mean, you sell houses for a living, and what a lot of these people don't understand is what they're doing to the middle class, whether it be student loans or anything else. It's going to make it difficult, if not impossible, for them to buy homes, buy new cars. And then that trickles down to fucking up the economy too. You've got to look at the big picture here. And I know you must be looking at that because that's
Yeah.
your livelihood.
Yeah. Well, and I specialize in first-time home buyers.
Right, right. And less of them are qualifying right now, right?
Right, exactly. They are having a harder time, which means that they are not able to invest in their future. And real estate is the easiest way to create an investment for generational wealth for your future.
Right.
And they're making it impossible for that, especially again with that Dodd-Frank law. They are competing against investors. Like
Right.
that it's you're talking again, I'm not only. I mean, I'm 36 and I have 4 children. And I'm by myself with my kids, and I have done this for 12 years now. But my entire goal was when I started all of this off was I'm a single mom. I know how hard it is. I have this information. How can I help other people who are in situations and they don't even feel comfortable asking questions? And then that
Wow.
Dodd-Frank law was removed, and now we're the minute we get lower interest rates, let's blame it on the Californians. It's not just the Californians, buddy. It is
Yeah.
investors and corporations and people who like low interest rates so they can make fluid money solid and not pay capital gains on it. They don't, I mean, you can't compete.
Let-
They can't compete. And then
Let me-
they have to rent. And then they can't contribute to the economy in the way that you could if you had an actual nest egg of an investment in real estate.
I got one more question for you. If you've got somebody, a young couple wanting to buy their first home, and say they make $50,000, $60,000, $60,000 a year, not a lot of money, but not poverty either, a decent amount of money for trying to live and raise a family and stuff. But they also have a $40,000 student loan. Okay. And they're not behind on the payments or anything. They're making the payments and they're struggling to do that. They make $60,000 a year. They have a $40,000 student loan. Can they even qualify for a house?
It would have to completely depend on the debt to income ratio. I'm not a lender, but if depending on what the payment was monthly, how that factored in, it would factor in, and it would be a detriment to whatever they were looking to accomplish. My advice to any first time home buyer, anybody who is buying a home for the first time, there are strict appraisal regulations when it comes to the condition of the home. But you do not want to buy something that is perfect and beautiful. You need to buy something that you can improve over 2 years and make sure that you have at least 3 to 5% equity in 2 years. And if you don't know how to do that ratio, it is the purchase price times 0.03. And if you can obtain that and that price is good and it gives you enough to move forward, then we're great. If more, I would hope for more. That is how I'm sorry. It's such a hard thing. I just need someone to be set up for goodness, and it is challenging. And student loans is yes, a huge factor in the debt to income ratio that prevents people from qualifying.
Let me ask you this. We got millennials and Gen Zs with student loans and other issues that they're getting out of college. They're not getting jobs that pay very well, so it's tougher to qualify for a home or a car for that matter, but let's just say a home. You got all these boomers that are suggesting that, well, they should pay their bills like we paid our bills. Well, I'm a boomer and I paid my college dramatically different than what these kids are having to pay. What happens when the millennials and the Gen Zs have all these limitations and can't qualify for homes, and the boomers want to sell their homes for a big profit so they can retire? To me, it tells me the value of those homes go down if nobody can fucking afford to buy it.
Yeah, yes. Well, I would say that the flaw in what we're going to call boomer logic is that you expect people who have not had an appreciated jump for the cost of living to match the value of the home that you're now trying to sell. And it would be extremely hypocritical for you to say, well, I paid mine, when people are making barely more than what you made at the time that you purchased your home, but your home has gone up 200,000 K.
Exactly. Well, Jesse, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You're welcome to come back anytime. We look forward to talking to you.
Thank you for letting me up, and good luck, everybody.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, Jesse brings up a good point. We need people in this country to make more money. They need better opportunities, and we need to start working with the people in the middle class as opposed to working against them. Let's pull up Trucker T. He's a favorite amongst the panel and a lot of people that listen to the show. Trucker T, what's up, man?
I don't know if I'm a favorite, but
I don't think I'm a favorite with Trucker T, but
oh, you are my number one favorite. Trust me.
I don't think so.
I'm not allowed to go on Trucker T's lives or anybody else's lives because all they do is ask where TJ is.
Well,
I don't know why, because all I do is cause problems.
And then,
Trucker T, I will tell you this. You are one of my favorites, and it's my fucking show, so that's the way it is. So
and there it
go
is.
ahead.
And there it is. So my first question actually was going to be for TJ.
Oh, boy.
You know what? I had so many questions today, right? Mike, I was on your show 3 times. The first time I had to go because of dinner. The second time they shut it down, and then now I'm back, right? But the question I have for TJ is why? That's my question for you.
Why did it get shut down?
No, sir. Why did Elon decide to go ham today? There's got to be a reason behind it.
Why did he want to go nuclear?
Yes.
Well, it's a good question. I mean, I would say that Elon, I would say it's probably like a cascading problem. First of all, I think Donald Trump lied to Elon, and he promised that he would get a deal from the federal government on EVs.
Yep.
And that got yanked out of the whole thing, and he didn't tell Elon about that. So then when the House passed it, some people that probably work for Elon that are wise to what's going on said, hey, you just got screwed on this deal.
Yeah, $7,000 per vehicle.
Right. So Elon confronted Trump at the White House on his, close to departure thing, and there was probably a big blowout, and maybe that had something to do with the black eye that he got. I don't know that for sure.
But at least he got the gold key.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
So
Trump was not the cause of the black eye.
No, he was not.
no, he wasn't the cause, but it may be, his cabinet members were involved with the discussion, and that's how it happened.
But also the Doge term just ended, so Elon just ended his reign of power there. So.
Well, his special appointment ended, not the Doge thing, because
yes.
those zit-faced idiots are still out there causing fucking problems.
Well, we have a new one too. But so my wife asked me today. She asked me a question, and I was like, you know what? I can't answer that. And she doesn't get into politics. You know what I mean? And she stumped me. And like.
So you said, I'll ask TJ the plumber because he'll know.
That's exactly what I said. But here's the thing. But here's what I told her. I said, hey, there's a reason why this guy is mentioning dates and times and all of this other stuff. He is cementing himself on a certain side of history, right?
Right.
So if something goes down, he's going to sing like a canary.
Right.
You know what I mean? The richest man in the world is not going to be behind bars and all
No.
this other business. There's so much I want to talk about, TJ. And
Well, you got to remember one thing. Elon Musk is not stupid. I mean, he may be on
Bingo.
he may be on drugs. He may be, doing all kinds of crazy shit, but he's not stupid.
no, he's
And
not.
and Donald Trump, on the other side of the coin, is stupid. He's and he's quote braggadocious about all of his things. So, just like he did. Just imagine this, like what he did with when he was in that interview that got recorded on audio, where he's talking about the document that he had on his desk, and he's bragging about this thing, like,
Right.
oh, I can't show this to anybody, but
But
that's
here
what-
it is. Yeah.
yeah, but that's what Donald Trump does. So I guarantee you, when Elon got cozy with Donald Trump dumped all of his secrets onto Elon Musk.
Well,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that was the deal.
So yeah, that was the deal.
yeah,
so-
I'll give you all this money, but you're gonna tell me fucking everything.
No. That wasn't the deal. The deal, like, Donald Trump's not that smart. The deal was Musk gave Trump all this money, and he helped him, and he bought the election for him, and did all these things. So Donald Trump said, "This is my guy," and he wants to impress Elon Musk because Elon Musk is a very successful businessman.
Absolutely.
By
Right.
far more successful than Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's the
So-
richest
so-
man in the world.
Right. So Donald Trump's got something to prove, right? Because he can't be outdone by Elon Musk, right? So I'm willing to bet you that all these, secrets and all these things that Donald Trump has done, Elon Musk knows about all of them.
And that was my entire point. I was
Yeah.
going to say
That's
that.
what I just said that you disagreed with me on. That was the deal. That was like what Elon was waiting for. He was gonna
Yes.
give him all this money and get in good with him, and Trump was gonna tell him all the secrets.
But I don't
Yep.
think that. But I don't think that was the plan initially.
No,
I don't think that was the plan.
Loud. I think that was Elon's plan. I don't think he said.
I agree with Rebecca. It was Elon's plan this entire time because he's way smarter than Trump.
Well, of
because
course.
he knows that it's going to hit the shit's going to hit the fan, right? And Elon is saying, "Hey, listen, I'm not going down with the ship.
No.
I'm going to sing like a canary." And he already started singing. He's naming 5149, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't put those specific numbers out there unless you're trying to say, "Hey, FBI, this is what I'm saying." You know what I mean?
Trucker T, Trucker T, let me
I'm listening, Mike.
Trucker T, let me give you a simpler explanation, my theory as to what happened with Donald Trump and Elon today. Donald Trump was working with Elon Musk. Donald Trump burned Elon Musk and kicked him to the curb like he does to everybody.
Yep.
Elon Musk is a malignant narcissist and he's pissed off. He's got to do something in response. So he talks about the bill. And you think Donald Trump is going to react very quickly like he always does, but he doesn't. He waits a couple days and he's just fucking seething about this.
Fuming. Yeah.
But he knows that Elon Musk knows a lot of shit, so he's trying to
Exactly.
hold back.
Right.
So then Elon Musk says something else, and Donald Trump comes out and says something against Elon Musk, but it's very tempered. Oh, I'm so disappointed. He must have Trump derangement syndrome. That's what broke it. The moment he retaliated to Elon Musk, we got a malignant narcissist that goes, "Oh, fucking hell no, I'm coming to get you now. I'm pissed off." And then when he does it, Donald Trump does the same thing. These guys are all emotional. They don't think about what they're going to say, and they do it. Are there some things tied behind it? Does Elon have a plan? Well, he didn't have that plan while they were buddies. But the moment they weren't buddies, his mind went into overdrive. What do I have on this motherfucker? What am I going to do?
Right.
How am I going to get him back? So that just started, I think. And now it's just a matter of the shit show because they're just pulling anything out of their ass to nail the other guy. And as
Right.
long as that continues, it's going to get fucking ugly.
Well, and I think that Musk hasn't shown all his cards, and he's
No.
purposefully
No,
not showing
absolutely
his
not.
cards. And so he's going to hold back to wait and see what Donald Trump does, and he's going to peel him apart like an onion.
So, Mike, can I tell you this?
Yeah.
I had a live the other night, I think it was 2 days ago, and I said that it's going to be something very small, very minute, that's going to blow this thing up. And when Trump said that, it was kind of small, it was like under the radar, but it blew it up, and here it is. Something small is going to make this thing very big, and that's exactly what happened today.
Well, I told my wife that. I said to my wife, Donald Trump said that Elon has Trump derangement syndrome. And she goes, yeah, so what? I go, that's the fucking trigger.
That's it.
That's the one that's going to set him off, and he's going to hit him back, and then Donald Trump won't be held back. And, it's not hard to figure that out if you know a narcissist. This is how they behave. They say some of the most horrific. I mean, when I was a little kid, my dad was a narcissist, and he only cared about himself. When he yelled at us kids, it wasn't like yelling, you're a bad kid, you did this, you did this. He said shit like, you are fucking animals, you're worthless, you're nothing more than a tax write-off. Now that's to 7 and 8-year-old kids.
That's
This
disgusting.
guy isn't, it is, but this guy isn't thinking about what he's saying. He's just picking the worst thing he can say and say it. And that's what Elon and Donald Trump are going to do, if they haven't done it already.
Most narcissists can deal with big problems. They can't deal with small ones. They can't.
At all.
That little tiny thing that would mean nothing to anybody else makes them see red.
And it drills them and drills them and drills them.
Yeah.
And I
And
guess my thing would be is to watch out for the numbers, right? When they start specifically mentioning numbers, that's when it gets hairy, because if there's ever a trial, they've got to go back to those numbers, 5149, 5149. What do you mean by 5149, right? So there's something to that. So,
Definitely.
and he also said, like I had to I don't know, get my Twitter account back today, or X account back. And I finally did it, and it says, hey, mark this post because you're going to remember it. That was from Elon. So there's a lot more to come with this. And I'm just waiting for the outcome. But I just want to get up here and say, hey, guys, I appreciate you, bringing me up, Mike, and TJ and Rebecca. And there's a lot going on, and we'll just wait to see what happens from here.
Well, we always
Absolutely.
love talking to you. So
Yeah, and I got a lot more to say, but I'm not, because this is Mike's life, and I'm going to let other people up. But I just wanted to get up and say I did try to come on 3 times, and I just wanted to get an explanation for that, because it's bothering me that all of a sudden this powder keg it exploded.
Well, it was inevitable. It's just a matter of when. So I'm not surprised it happened. I'm just excited that it happened today.
and you know what? This is just the beginning of a lot of shit that's going to come out. And I like it. This is more entertaining than anything I could imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, be prepared to see me on your lives moving forward.
Well, as long as TikTok doesn't take me down, you're more than welcome.
Well,
I
thank you, sir.
appreciate it.
Take you down
All
again.
right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Always good to have Trucker T up here. Let's see here. Let's try Steph. See what she has to say. Hey, Steph, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, the guy you had on earlier made me think about this. Remember when Jimmy Carter passed and they had his funeral and all of the presidents were there, and Jimmy Carter's grandson was telling stories about his grandfather. And I noticed, I watched it again today. For some reason, it came on my For You page. And I noticed how you'd see like familiarity in the faces of like Obama and Bush and Clinton when he would say something silly that his grandpa did. But then they would show
Yeah.
Trump. Then they would show Trump and Melania, and literally no reaction. to like crazy things. Like he said, you never knew what might happen when you showed up at Papa's door. He might come to the door in 70 short shorts and Crocs, and that's
Yeah.
funny. But they just
Yeah.
had no reaction. And it hit me that these people, this man has never even put fuel in his vehicle.
No.
Yeah.
And these idiots, and
He's never
I'm an,
driven a
I,
vehicle.
yeah, and I'm an idiot too. I voted for him in 2016. I'm a lifelong Republican from Kansas. Of course, I voted for him, and
Well,
I regretted it immediately. But the people that have voted for him the second and third time, I wonder what they're thinking. It's just
well,
Well, they're not.
until 6 months ago, these motherfuckers did. Trump didn't even know what groceries were. He didn't even know. He didn't know.
that old-fashioned word,
Yeah.
groceries.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful word.
Beautiful
Who ever
word,
heard of
yeah.
groceries?
Who's ever heard of it?
He invented it. He's the best inventor of words ever in the world.
Yeah. He has the best words.
Yeah, the best word.
Yeah, he has
But
the best words.
it really struck me. So I wanted to relay that he cannot identify with the trials and tribulations of the everyday person like us. And he also has forgotten. He seems to think he's a dictator and the motherfucker works for us. He's our employee.
Yeah.
He doesn't view it
Yeah.
that way, but okay.
And yeah.
But well, Steph, here's the thing: is you're right. He doesn't have any clue about what normal people do. The ironic thing is, a lot of dumbass normal people voted for him because they thought he could, and
Yeah.
that's the sad thing about it. It's ridiculous. All you have to do is read a little, watch a little, listen a little, and you shouldn't have been fooled in this last election. But a lot of people were, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad
Yeah.
to me. I
Eggs
see
are,
him around me every day.
yeah, eggs are down
It's
400%.
yeah.
Gas is $1.99, he said.
Yeah, said no
I
one.
bought I bought eggs today, and they gave me $10. It was a fucking great deal.
I just said that in the chat to somebody. I'm like,
He
200% lower, so I get a check when I buy eggs.
Yeah, no shit,
fucking
no shit.
stupid.
Steph, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Hey, Steph.
You too. Yeah, he just says anything that comes to his mind, and he's ridiculous. And how somebody can't see that, I don't understand at all. It's just absolutely ridiculous that he can say these stupid things, and people say, "Yeah, that sounds good to me. I like that." We're going to see if we can get somebody else up here. Jeremy, are you there?
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeremy,
can you
what's
hear
on your
me?
mind?
My internet's not
We
doing real
can.
good right now.
We can hear you.
Well, I just heard about he's supposedly going to give another stimulus bill, but only to people who make over 50,000. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is not the whole point of a stimulus bill to stimulate the economy? Now, who's going to
I'd
spend
like
more
to
money?
know.
The poorest people or people who, have a little bit of money at least?
Well,
Right,
the
right.
whole platform has always been fuck those poor people. We don't need to feed those kids. They don't need health care. So why are you surprised by this?
I'm not. I just thought it was ridiculous.
Well,
I really
yeah, but
did.
and I'll be honest with you, there's going to be no stimulus. He just brings this stuff up because he's desperate for some kind of positive response.
I th-
Because
I think
if he's
you're
going to
right.
send a stimulus out, where's he going to get the money? Where's the money coming from? I mean, it's got to be approved by Congress, and he spent all this other ridiculous money on deporting people to El Salvador without getting approval on that. There's not going to be a stimulus. Donald Trump is a pathological liar. He'll say whatever he can say in hopes of getting some appreciation or getting out of a bad problem. He'll always make big promises when shit's falling apart, and so expect a lot of promises in the next week or so.
So, somebody in
I
the
hear
first live
that.
said, "Does this fight mean I'm not getting my Doge check?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what happened to that? I must have missed that $5,000 check that I was supposed to get in the mail.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody
Right.
ever got the $5,000
The
check.
level of lies
Uh,
is
God,
just
if my
abhorrent.
kids, if my kids lied to me like he's lying, I'd spank them, but I'd also be disappointed how stupid they were in their lies. If you're going to lie to me, be good at it.
At
I'd have
least,
to
yeah,
think,
did make it believable.
Yeah.
I'd have to
Right.
think at this point, Mike, that if you tried to spank your kids, they would probably fight back.
Well,
I think-
well, they're.
I think Tony can take you.
Well, they're in their 30s and they're all over 6'2", and I'm nowhere near 6. So yeah, you're probably right about that. I maybe counting on old man strength a little too much. So Jeremy, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Jeremy. Let's see who else we got out here. We're going to go on. Okay. We got Carol coming up. Now, this name I've seen since I started on TikTok, so I hope she comes up here. Hey, Carol, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up with you
So
tonight?
what do you think of the feud between Elon and him, and now Elon saying he must be impeached? What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome, and I think it's what we would expect when you have two personalities like this, two malignant narcissists. It can only go
Yes.
one way. It will ultimately crash and burn, and that's what we're watching now.
Good.
This is the start of the end, I think. I really
Oh,
do, because
good.
Donald Trump will be exposed for a lot of shit, and it won't be the Democrats making the complaints. It'll be his own side. We're even seeing some Republicans going, what the fuck? So I'm excited about this because I think it is the start of good things to come for once.
Yes, me too. I was kind of amazed by it, but then I thought to myself, well, you aligned yourself with Trump. You didn't expect to
Yeah.
lose money? Of course you'd lose money. He doesn't know what he's doing. You would lose money. It's just, I don't know. I came from New York, so like, this is a guy I know. He loses at
Well-
everything, so I don't understand.
And he burns everybody. Everybody he's
Everybody.
ever worked with, he burns
Like,
them.
Rudy's the example of that. Rudy and the pillow.
The
The pillow guy's another one.
That's
Yeah.
funny because we literally just refer to him as Pillow.
What?
Well, we just talked about Pillow the other day. We talked about Pillow, and we
Yes.
talked about Rudy Kaludi, and both of those motherfuckers were rich as fuck until they fucking cross paths with Donald Trump, and now they're fucking both broke and going to jail.
Yeah.
Well, at least Elon avoided the jail part for now, but he lost some money too. But he was here really to steal from us, just like Trump.
Yeah.
The difference is that Elon has the money to lose.
Yeah, that is a difference, but
Yeah, he can lose 20 billion and it's no big deal. He'll still be able to afford and support his 18 kids and his 18 baby mamas. But that's what I'm saying about what I'm thinking with Elon. Elon, he can lose half his money and still have $50 billion dollars. Just go off to some island and shut the fuck up for a while.
well, now he's got Miller's wife. He's got
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, if I was single and I wanted to meet a woman, and her first choice was Stephen Miller, that might be a red flag for me.
of course it would be.
Yeah, I don't think I think I'd avoid her altogether. That can't go well. And you know, Elon's not the guy that you're going to buy a house and put up a picket fence with either. So I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's probably in it for just the money too.
Well, just watching this whole thing, I just sit there and sometimes I laugh so hard I cry because it's just like, wow, you went from whoop whoop, cheering for Trump, everything, now these are like, and then all of a sudden he comes out with, and he should be impeached. This was today. I looked, I'm like,
Well, Carol, don't you find it interesting that people like Steve Bannon and some other Republicans are saying, well, he might be an illegal immigrant, or he was taking classified documents, or he's a drug addict. They didn't know this 2 months ago when they were cheering for
I
him.
know. He sits in the
But now
chair,
all of a
his
sudden,
eyes roll. He has his eyes rolling around in the chair. And it says all these different drugs. There's a whole list of drugs that he does. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know what to say
yeah,
about that. And then there's RFK. Oh boy. Oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah,
Can't wait for
yeah.
something to happen there because we need rid of him too.
Well, there isn't anybody in the cabinet that knows anything about anything. And we're hearing about Pete Hegseth and the Department of Defense being in complete chaos because people are pushing back against him. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
He's also
RFK
busy with the
Jr.
whiskey. He's got the whiskey all the time.
Yeah, I wonder how bad it would be if he wasn't drunk most of the time. Maybe it'd be worse. Who the fuck knows?
Could
Car-
be.
Carol, thanks for coming on. As I said, I've seen your name in my comments almost the whole time I've been on TikTok, and that's 4.5 years. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I missed you on Facebook. I'm like, what happened to him? Where'd he go?
They kicked me off.
They
They
kicked
kicked
you
me
off?
off. They
Well,
banned me
what?
from Facebook. Yeah,
Wow, that's
for do-
terrible.
and all I did is put the exact same stuff on Facebook as I put on TikTok and YouTube and Substack. Same stuff. I didn't do anything any different. But apparently, Zuckerberg is not a fan. So fuck him.
Oh boy, that's terrible though. Freedom of speech. What happened? It's
Yeah.
only the
Well, yeah.
sound.
Not on Facebook, apparently. But Carol, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Who else we got here? We're going to wrap it up here in a little bit because I did an hour. We're now going on an hour and 15. I'm old. I'm tired. Let's go to Bonnie, see what she has to say. Let's see if she pops up. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing?
I'm
What's on your
here.
mind? Hey,
Hi.
Bonnie.
Um, I may be totally wrong on this, but I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm retired, so I do nothing but watch all this crap all day. And you know that guy Thiel or Teal, the one
Peter
who's
Thiel.
Theo Vaughn?
here. Yeah,
Peter Thiel.
right.
Oh, Peter
Okay.
Thiel, yeah.
He's really tight with Musk.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And then Musk today says, oh, he wants to have him impeached and put Vance in there.
Of course he does, yeah.
Okay. And Vance's weight is right with Project 2025. And so is Thiel or Teal, whoever he
Well,
is, and
Pe-
Musk.
well, Peter Thiel is Vance's homie. Those
Yeah,
guys, they're thick
that's
as thieves.
Right.
They're
that's
tech
how
bro-
he
they're
that's how he
tech
got
tech
elected to
bros.
every office he's been in.
Yeah.
They're tech bros.
So is there a chance that this whole thing is going to work out, that they just really want to get rid of Trump and put JD in there for us, which would be awful too, because I
Well,
think
that's just
JD is actually smarter than Trump.
he is, but he doesn't have as much power as Trump. Nobody's afraid of him. But yeah, that's conceivable.
But they
We've
can
talked about
guide
that
him.
before. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They can kind of manipulate him. Everybody's manipulated him. But we talked about that after the election that Donald Trump would only be there a short time, and they put J.D. Vance in
Yeah,
power so the tech bros could have some control. Yeah, that's distinctly possible. I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of what was going on anyway.
A
There's a good
fucking
You know,
and
fuck.
then you know what else Vance or Musk wrote today? Remember Musk wanted that guy in charge of NASA, his buddy,
right.
and Trump all of a sudden said, he poo-pooed him. So I think that there's a whole bunch more that is going to come out. I'm really excited.
I'm pretty excited too. I got to be honest with you, Bonnie. I'm feeling it. That shit's starting to break loose, and Donald Trump is in a position where all narcissists end up. They lie too much. They do too many misdeeds, and it becomes overwhelming. They can't
Right.
juggle it anymore. They can't keep up with the lies. They can't keep up with the problems, and then it just falls on
And you
top of
know,
them. And I think we're getting closer to that.
Trump can't keep a secret. He can't keep his mouth shut.
No,
So
no.
I'm sure he, and you know, during the night, he probably spilled whatever he spilled to Musk all night, you know,
Yeah.
and we're going to hear that's where Musk, because it just seems weird that all of a sudden it can't just be over something silly. It's got to be a lot deeper than what we think.
Well, it probably is deeper than we think. But here's the thing I'm excited about is no doubt Donald Trump's people are around him telling him, don't do this. Don't get sucked into this. Don't argue with him. Don't call him names. Don't do that.
Yeah,
So by them doing that, that means he's definitely doing it. So he's not going to listen to shit.
yeah,
He's
I
going to be
think
the
so.
smartest one in the room, and he's going to fuck himself over like he does every time.
Yep, I think you're right. Oh, well, it was my 2 cents.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate it, and come back anytime.
I will. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, I think, let's see here. I'm going to do a couple more here, and then I'm going to wrap it up because we've been on longer on this one than we were on the first one, which is good. We've stayed up. Special thanks to Rebecca and TJ for keeping the Trump
You 'cause
fucks
you're
off the door.
retired, Mike.
What's that? What's that?
Good for you because you're retired.
Yeah, no shit.
We try.
But hey, WR, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you been?
I'm doing good.
All right, I ain't know you been on here 4 years, but I know I at least been following you for about a year.
Well, I
You
appreciate
and
it. I know.
yeah, you and Will on the back 40.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
cause
have a lot of appreciation for people to follow.
y'all the ones who like during the time when the election actually started, the voting started a few months
Yeah,
before that. You and Will on the back 40 is the only live I used to come to and listen to when I wanted to just listen to a nice, calm voice. I don't care about the cussing because my girl always say she laugh at you when you say Trump or fuck, you know.
yeah.
but but y'all kind of like soothing and just like more uh just giving people confidence. You know what I mean?
Well, some people give me credit for being calm
Yeah.
and making people. I like to look at it as I'm just being a fucking adult, and some people out here just don't have that capability. They want to stir things up so they get more views or more followers. I'm just doing what I do. This is my personality. I don't get too excited about anything because it won't do any good anyway. But I appreciate it. And when I hear that I can do somebody some good, and when I come out here and rant the way I do, that makes it that much better for me.
Right.
I
Well,
appreciate it immensely.
well, I've always given you
Right.
credit for talking shit, but that's
I
just
talk
me.
some shit. I talk some shit. There's no question about it. But I do it
But
calmly, and that's the difference.
right. Yeah. That's kind of like all the other lives. They be going at it, and it just have your nerves going. So I drive truck, so I listen to y'all, you and Will, and it's just like calming. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like y'all slow down the traffic. How about that? On the
Yeah. Well.
highway, y'all like yeah.
Well.
Y'all the Sunday drivers.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I've told my kids and other people. The secrets of life is something I heard about athletes. If you've got a really elite athlete, like they're playing basketball or they're hitting a baseball, somehow in their minds they're able to slow everything down around them, so it's easier for them to do it. And I think anytime you get in a situation, whether it's intense or you're nervous, you're scared, if you can force yourself to slow it down a little bit and take a look at it, you're going to do better in the long run. If you
Right.
panic, it's a fucking problem.
Right.
It's like that moment in Robin Hood when he shoots the arrow.
Right.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
what I go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What I wanted to say is but since I believe I might think different than everybody else. I believe this Elon and Trump thing is not really real. I think it's like Hollywood. It's too much money this guy done paid and put into this man campaign. And every day I believe what he doing because I've been since the first time he ran, I've been out here. And since the first time Obama ran, I've been out here.
Yep.
And with Bush and Clinton, I've been on it. But I
Yeah.
might not be as educated as y'all as far as the book goes and this and that happened, blah blah blah. I'm probably not that. I'm probably more of a common sense guy and a guy who looks at everything and has uh like I'm like picky. So when I
Yeah.
look at them arguing, when I'm looking at them arguing right now, I don't believe that's true. I think that's a part of the printed script because if you really look at what they doing, it's like he said, like Elon gonna jump up there now. Yeah, he didn't wanna
Yeah.
they didn't wanna put the Epstein files out because he was in there. Come on. I mean, when you
Yeah.
really look at that and think about it, that's bullcrap. Cause you know why? They're getting our attention off the protests. They're getting our attention off the boycotts. They're getting our attention off the bills they trying to beautiful bill they trying to pass. And I forgot the other name of the thing because if they pass the big beautiful bill,
Yeah.
everybody's screwed. They don't have. I mean, it's just you got to back up and think because he already told the Trump folks to we gonna take y'all back 300 years. He already
Yeah.
said that. See, that's this is stuff he making us forget what he previously said, and that's what he's trying to do. And all of them, they rich people, man. He said it already. He said it. I can do whatever I want to do. They went up there on the stage and said we can lie and we can lie whatever. And even Vance said that. Hey, I make up
Yeah.
anything that sound good. So
Yeah.
everything that does sound good, I believe we have to leave it alone. But everything that matters, I think we got to continue to attack. We got to pound everything. We got to pound Target. We got to pound Walmart. We got to pound this bill he's trying to pass. We got to pound this immigration. We got to pound it. We got to stop letting this guy take us on the road every day because them rich people. Elon can go buy an island somewhere and nobody can touch him.
Right.
We can't do
Right.
that. We gotta
No.
we gotta go and look at the bacon in the grocery store and say, "Oh, I want Eckrich. I want Black Label, but I can't afford nothing but Eckrich Farm." You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
And
know
this
what
is
you
what
mean.
they doing to us. And I'm landing the plane. I'm landing the plane because I know you're
All right.
tired.
Well, WR, let me tell you this. Don't sell yourself short about education because the education you got is in life. And please don't overestimate my education because I'll be honest with you, WR. I went to college for a year. I majored in drinking and partying. At the end of the year, the school and I came to the mutual decision that I've learned as much as I can learn in my in my major, and we parted ways. So I'm not incredibly educated in the traditional sense, but when you live life, you're a little curious and you seek things out. You learn a lot of stuff, and clearly, WR, you've learned a lot of stuff. So don't worry about having not the education that some other people will have, because I know a lot of people that have 4-year degrees and master's degrees, and I know I'm smarter than those motherfuckers,
Right.
like JD
Sometimes you don't
Vance.
need the education to be smarter than them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, WR, thank you for coming on. I'm going to wrap things up here because I want to get out of here before they shut me down again, because I'm counting on being able to download
Did you get a warning?
show. No, I didn't, but Well, not, I get warnings every day from my wife, my granddaughter.
A TikTok warning. I don't mean it.
The funny thing about it is if I'm doing something, my wife and I have been married 42 years, and I love my granddaughter and we have fun together and stuff. But the moment my wife snaps at me about something I did that was stupid, my granddaughter jumps in and says, "Yeah, Grandpa, what about that?" I go, "Jesus, I don't need you."
You get ganged
I don't
up
need-
on. You get
I
ganged
do.
up on.
I get ganged up on, and I just say to my granddaughter, I said, "Honey, just remember one thing: I'm the guy with the treats in the pocket every
That's
time I
right.
see you. Just remember that bullshit."
I got the motherfucking candy.
It's
That's
all
right.
about
That's right.
It's all about women's rights, Mike. It's all about women's rights.
That's absolutely right. Well, TJ and Rebecca.
Before you go,
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to remind everybody that's viewing this, all 500 people, to listen to the Rational Boomer podcast on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And before you go, double tap the screen like this, because we only got 36,000 likes, and we should get double that. So double tap the screen, listen to the Rational Boomer podcast on YouTube or Spotify.
All right. Well, thank you guys for helping out, not only being on the panel, but also the moderating that you do. That's invaluable. All of you listening, thank you very much. Those that participated, special thanks to you. Those listening, thank you for taking the time to do it. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Night, Mike.